You're listening to another episode of the Just Go Bike podcast, powered by RAGBRAI. This is the award-winning podcast where we are all about the culture of cycling, just for the fun of it. Your hosts are Murph from the Murphology podcast and AP from Parrot Talk. With tales from all over the nation, come for the bikes, stay for the fun, and leave with a smile. And now here is Murph.
Hey, that's me.
And AP.
Hey, that's me.
AP.
Hi, Murph.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fantastic, mostly because we're in the same room together.
I know, we are at Parrot Talk Studios in RAGBRAI headquarters and on the mic again.
Yeah, after a couple weeks of recovery after RAGBRAI, so happy to be here.
Yes, exactly. Neither one of us are going to be on a bike today, or at least not right now, which is a bummer. But at the time of this recording, isn't it State Fair time here in Des Moines?
The Iowa State Fair has been going on for one day. Now this is the second day of the State Fair.
Okay.
So yeah, it was, there's a lot of hoopla going on over there. It took me a little while to get to work today.
And are you somebody that goes to the fair every single year?
Depending on the year, I'll either go 0 times or 8 times.
Oh,
so
wow.
So far this year I've gone 0, so we'll see. But I do love the fair. I love going there. It's fun to attend someone else's event that someone else has put a lot of hard work into producing.
Do you know, I've only attended the fair with you.
Yeah.
That's the only time I've ever been in all my years of living.
And we had a heck of a time.
Yes, we did.
So
yes, we did.
Yeah, it's great. It's fun to see all the animals and all the art projects and all the food and etc. But so the fair is in full swing right now.
Yeah. Okay, and speaking of epic events, RAGBRAI LII, RAGBRAI 52 is history.
That's right.
And here at Parrot Talk Studios, we are looking at an amazing display that I think we should talk about.
Yeah, we have to give a little shout out, or a huge shout out, to the people who brought us challenge coins on RAGBRAI this year.
Yeah.
We have, now I didn't count them before, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We have 14 challenge coins now, and then 2 golden dollars.
Wow.
that we have on display. But thank you so much for your generosity. It's really, really sweet. It's really awesome to look at and really inspiring because some of them have a lot of meaning to them.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And then in addition to that, we got patches. We've got like special things that people have made for us, bracelets and keychains. And it's just so awesome.
So we have been working to redecorate the pod studio, and we'll share a photo of it later once we have it all put together. But these coins roll around a lot, so I have to figure out how to anchor them a little bit. So look, stay tuned.
Yeah. And I can't recall who helped us out figuring out how to get a display, but we almost need a second one.
We're almost ready for a second display. Yeah.
They're very meaningful. So thank you, everyone.
Yes. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts.
Yes,
it means a lot.
Okay, so coming up next month, which will be September, depending on when you're listening to this, we've got another event. I mean, it's not... You guys aren't just going to, chill out and relax. You're going to plan more events.
That's right. So the Great Iowa Fall Ride is Saturday, September 13th of 2025. This is our 5th annual Great Iowa Fall Ride.
Okay.
So it's just kind of a fun, either the end cap to your season of cycling or the middle before you switch over into fall and winter cycling. So depending on who you are. But we have food, friends, fun, and music at RAGBRAI HQ. So it's all sort of just coming together, but save the date for that. And then the day before, on Friday, September 12th, we will have a meeting or a gathering here at RAGBRAI HQ, and Murph and I are going to host a speaker series.
Yeah, it's going to be just a fun meet up, not a bike ride, but we're going to meet here at RAGBRAI HQ and have a little bit of a party, and then also get some really great speakers, whether... we don't want to announce the speakers just yet, but we're talking some nonprofits. We're talking very bike-centric type organizations. We're really, really excited about it.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. So save the date. Coming soon, more information, September 12th and 13th.
Yes. But back to the Great Iowa Fall Ride, you can now register for that, can't you?
That's right. We're still working on getting the website up and running, but on ragbrai.com, you should be able to find the link to the Great Iowa Fall Ride and sign up. It's only $20 this year. It's going to be a really fun ride throughout the trails of Des Moines.
Sweet. So today we're starting a little bit of a series. AP and I asked you all for RAGBRAI 52 stories, whatever stories you wanted to share. And boy, did you guys come through for us.
Yeah.
So we're doing a series of kind of tales from the trail of people who have been part of RAGBRAI 52. And we've gotten tons of emails. We've gotten requests to be on the podcast. And I've already interviewed a bunch of people. So today we're going to do 2 great stories, and we'll continue this on. But I thought we should take a few minutes and at least share a couple of stories that people, they didn't really say, I want to be on the podcast, but they shared a story that we wanted to kind of share back. So do you want to go first?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite times of year because one of the awesome things about RAGBRAI is that everyone has a different experience.
Yeah.
Everyone comes from a different place. Everyone does it for a different reason. And this is one of the times when we get to find out what those reasons are or what people experience during the ride that you couldn't possibly see because there's 1,000 different perspectives. So it's super fun. I have randomly opened up the email from Jacqueline Mathers. So I'm going to start with hers. Okay, so I'm going to start reading now. I was truly amazed with the green rolling cornfields and soy farms. We had a limited amount of rain during the days and one wild thunder and lightning storm in the evening. Yet the fields were a rich, deep green color all week. No brown patches or bald spots in sight. After traveling over 400 miles on these roads, I rarely saw anyone maintaining these beautiful landscapes. It was as if they had existed like this forever. I was also very impressed with how pristine all the homes were, and their lawns were so manicured. Not one home had vacant old cars or trailers discarded on the property. I didn't see any trash barrels left out or kids' toys scattered all over the driveway. Most of the ranch homes had thoughtful flower beds. I certainly appreciated the absence of one's tacky yard art, which the homeowner thinks is cool, and the observer views in disgust. I hope she doesn't see my lawn. Okay. Obviously, these Iowans have a sense of pride and appreciate what they have. All the best, Jacqueline Mathers.
Oh, I love it.
It's so sweet. I love
that. It gives you so much pride for the state of Iowa.
Yes, and it's so cool to see or to hear from people who have noticed things that I've noticed too. We had the homes along RAGBRAI route this year were really beautiful.
Yeah.
A lot of awesome gardens. New Hartford itself was known for its gardens. So,
and very well maintained. She said that perfectly. Yeah.
So thank you so much for writing in. Thank you for that note. That was really cool.
And then I pulled one up from James Jordan, and he says, just came back from dropping out in 2023 to conquer the whole ride. I also learned what it's like to go from camping to connecting via Facebook with local folks who open their homes and share room and camp and RV sites. What a difference that made. It also needs to be emphasized that weather is everything. Oh my gosh, that is so true.
Yeah.
You can train and train, but if the weather is wonky, it could be a struggle. Did you see the weather this week? Many 70-degree days. So what a change from the 90s that we experienced during RAGBRAI. And he's right. Once that heat broke,
it was beautiful.
Beautiful days.
Yeah.
So, and he ended it with, love you too, and your van was super slick.
Yeah, and he's from California, so shout out to California listeners.
Yeah, thank you, James, for writing in, and we agree that van was super slick.
It was super cool. And I agree, it's so cool to, I love camping on RAGBRAI, but it's also fun to connect with host homes. It's just another way to get to know the community and where you're riding through. The people are always so welcoming and great hosts, and they'll do anything from letting you camp in their yard to cooking you a full meal to letting you ride on their boat. I mean, it just depends on what they have.
Letting you ride their jet ski,
yeah,
right?
Letting me ride their jet ski. So it's just a really cool way to experience RAGBRAI.
And that's a great segue into this episode. First up, we have Ellie. And Ellie, her husband, you may remember, the guy on the penny farthing. It's the real tall bike. It was decorated in red, white, and blue. His name's Danny. And this is Ellie. So Ellie didn't actually do RAGBRAI, but she got to see it from afar. And she really talks about that Iowa Nice and the experiences that Danny had. And then our second interview is with Rose, and she is exactly what you spoke of, Andrea. She talks about a wonderful story about her experiences this year on RAGBRAI, specifically in Cedar Falls with a host family.
Oh, so cool. All right. Well, I can't wait to listen.
Tell us all your name and where you're located.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rose Willie, and I'm located in Urbandale, Iowa.
All right. And I already know the answer to this, but have you done RAGBRAI before?
I have, yes. This was my 12th RAGBRAI.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so off the top of your head, like what's at least one reason that you keep coming back?
The people, the
Yeah.
experiences, the communities, the people. The bike riding is great. I think at first I thought it was about the bike riding, but the more I've done, the more I've realized it's not just about the bike riding. It's about like the journey
Yeah.
and the experiences you have along the way.
Yeah, and it's, you know, the fellow riders, the other people riding their bikes, but also the communities. Like, it's hard to understand that these people are volunteering and somehow, you know, if there's like 10 of them, they are responsible to get 20-some thousand people in and out of their town in like less than 24 hours.
Right. It's amazing. It's amazing how that happens.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so 12 years of RAGBRAI, and you just completed RAGBRAI LII. How or who did you do it with this year?
all right. So this year I rode with Team BAT, and that's BAT.
Okay.
And I used to ride with another team, Team Curbside. And it was kind of a big deal, honestly, for me to leave teams because, you know, your RAGBRAI team is like your family.
Sure.
And so I had this family of people, but my significant other also owned and ran a separate team when we began dating. And so it would be funny because we would have like our RAGBRAI maps to, you know, get through the towns and things every day, and we would connect while we were riding. But then we also had like these maps to each other's camps at night. And so at some point, logistics just got to be too much.
Right.
And so I did make the change over to the different team, over to his team. And so, but it's been great. It's been actually like 8 years now, so that we've been riding together. So that's great.
And Team BAT, give us like, you know, pretend nobody knows what Team BAT is. Do you have a bus? Do you have matching jerseys? Do you all ride together? Like, give us maybe a day in the life of Team BAT.
All of the above. The biggest question is, what does BAT stand for? Because they'll be like, is it Batman? Like, what's going on here? And BAT is an acronym for many, many things. RAGBRAI related. So it could be bank account trashed, bring another 12, biking and tailgating. And there's like a whole list of things, some maybe not quite so PC, that you can just use your imagination for. But so that's that. And then we do have a bus, and we have about 20 riders.
Oh, wow.
That ride on the bus. And we typically, I would say we ride together for the most part, or we kind of like, we start out together during the week, but then during the week we kind of like break up in little sections. And one day, you know, I might ride with this group of riders from the team, and the next day it might be these people, and the next day it might be the Century people who want to go out together a little bit earlier, and everybody else is kind of going to go slow roll it and just do the regular day. So there's a lot of variety there. We do have team jerseys, so you'll see them out frequently. Team BAT has been in existence for 24 years.
Wow.
Total. I know. I just couldn't believe that. You would think that John, my significant other, was an old guy, but really he's not. He did his first RAGBRAI at 20, so he has 27 RAGBRAIs on me, and I'm like the baby at 12. So yeah.
And has he done all of his RAGBRAIs with Team BAT?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's commitment. Wow.
Yeah. Another cute or quirky thing about our team is we have a lot of former Team Air Force riders, including one gentleman who was one of the original Air Force team directors. And so as you know, he's transitioned out of the military life and become a retired civilian. We made those connections through RAGBRAI. And then they joined the team. So we actually have a lot of former Air Force riders on the team that make up a good contingency that come over from Colorado. We have some groups that are from here in Iowa. We have some folks that are from Georgia, Texas, Utah, and then Minnesota as well.
So certainly you have that reunion aspect, you know?
Yes.
You probably don't see these people weekly or monthly. So to have that RAGBRAI reunion is something that like I look forward to every year.
That's it. I mean, that's really like where the people come in. is that's my family that I have for the week, and we get to make all these wonderful memories and have these experiences together, and we all just keep coming back for that.
Oh, yeah. You wrote in with a memorable experience that you had with one of your host homes. And so, first off, will you tell the listeners what it means to have a host home? And then I'm dying to know this story.
Yeah, so absolutely. So we work through the RAGBRAI system in the communities to connect with host homes. And so as a team, we do a little bit differently while our writers are registered, and in case they need like SAG support or emergency services, we do the host home connection. And so we try to connect with a host home in the community where we ask for just yard space and access to a restroom and showers. We do that connection piece. And so we get to connect with these really terrific people through these communities. And we just get to have just another special experience or circumstance that happens even more, above and beyond what you get from experiencing RAGBRAI as a whole. So.
And before you go on, like the coolest thing about host homes for me, like when I was riding with teams and we would do have a host home. I mean, that's a significant effort by the homeowner when you have a bus pull up with 20 people, even if it's 10 people that are going to be, if they choose to let you, to use their restroom, use their shower, probably their hose, out back. And, even if you're tenting, it's still there. At least for me, my experience, they will still like make cookies or barbecue and they're volunteering all of this. It's just so like it makes my heart swell.
It does. No, and that's exactly why I wanted to like share the experience. And you're 100% right. Like we always ask as a team, like, your home and your community, we're coming there. So we're going to be respectful. We're going to treat your home and your community like it's ours. All we're asking for is a place to pitch a tent, and access to a restroom. And we'll leave things just the way we found them when we got there. Right. But what happens when we show up is just, I don't know, it's just moving in such a way that I always say after RAGBRAI, I feel like my faith in humanity is restored.
Oh, wow.
Like,
awesome.
Right? Like I just leave because we'll show up and they'll be like, hey, yeah, okay, park the bus over here. You can put your tents over here. Listen, the back deck is open. I've got cookies and snacks and crackers. Both bathrooms are open. Don't worry about towels. I've got towels laid out for you.
Wow.
They're like, what can I do to help? And I'm always just like, listen, no, that's above and beyond. Like, no, that's not an expectation. No, no, don't put yourself out. And they're like, no, this is a joy for us. We're excited to have you. And those host homes become another member of our team.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many people that we've connected with over the years through the host homes that have remained friends that we've, gone back to, especially when RAGBRAI goes through a community again. They'll reach right back up like, hey, I saw RAGBRAI's coming to town. You guys want to come stay with me again?
I love it.
Like, what a great joy that is to be welcomed back by someone in such a way. So we're so grateful for that. But you're right. Like it is such a great experience. It's so unique. And I'm just floored, like I said, by just the wonderful gift of people sharing their home and their community with us and then getting to know them. So,
yeah. And you had a specific story you wanted to share?
I do. So we connected with a host home in Cedar Falls, and she, her name is Colleen, and she and her husband opened her home to us. And what was so wonderful is we were just connecting via chat and messaging before this, and she had all these plans for our arrival. And I kept saying, Colleen, that's so great, but please don't put yourself out. I know you have a lot going on, but we're so excited to stay. And her aspect of this was like, we came and she was welcoming, and she was like, listen, put all of your sleeping bags and your air mattresses in the house. It's just going to be a gigantic slumber party.
Oh, wow.
It's been hot. I'm sure you guys really need to cool off. She's like, both the showers are open again, like towels are stocked. Mi casa es su casa.
Wow.
I mean, just so gracious and welcoming and just so much fun. And then as the day and the evening went on, we found out, she's like, oh yeah, I'm planning to make these egg bakes and this rhubarb coffee cake for you guys. to have in the morning. And again, I'm like, Colleen, that's so sweet. Please don't put yourself out so much. And she's like, no, I really want to do this. I've been looking forward to it. And so what happened was is our team members, sometimes we will go out to the band and go out for dinner and the band and stuff in the evening, of course. Well, a lot of folks actually stayed at Colleen's house, and it ended up being like a big slumber party. And we have several team members who are making rhubarb coffee cake with her, and some of them are working on the egg bake, and some people are like playing a game, and there's music and there's laughter and there's joy. And it was just so wonderful. The part that's really humbling for me is Colleen shared she has a son, or had a son, who passed away. And he was very big into cycling, and he had really struggled. And he had gone, down a tough road, but he had turned his life around, and he was doing great things. And unfortunately, he died of a heart attack.
Whoa!
About 5 years ago at the age of 35.
Oh.
So she shared with us about that, and then she shared with us this little Lego man on a bike that she had made for him as like a souvenir or Christmas gift. After he had kind of gotten his life turned around, and he had bought bikes, and he was getting into cycling, and he had big, bike packing plans and things. And so she had shared that with us, and she asked us if we would take it with us.
Oh, wow.
And we would take him on the adventures. So as I get choked up about that, so we did. I said, what a joy, what a privilege. If you're sure,
wow,
we would love to take him along. So I have custody of Lego Nick. Nick was his name. And Lego Nick went out on RAGBRAI with us for the rest of the week. And I've been posting pictures, and then we've become Facebook friends, and she's like, please feel free to, if it's not too much to ask, if you want to take pictures and continue. And I was like, heck yes, I want Lego Nick to keep going and doing things with us. And I think what really touched my heart in that was my dad died of a heart attack in his sleep when I was 29. And so for her to have a similar experience with her son, and just some of the things that she shared that just really brought that to my heart. So
yeah,
I think that's the magic of RAGBRAI, the people and the communities and these experiences that you have. And then I have a new friend who gets to ride shotgun in my bike bag, and his name is Lego Nick. And so yesterday Lego Nick and I went biking on the trails here in Des Moines, and because the trails are flooded, we did our first water crossing.
Wait, does Lego Nick float?
Well, he was tucked safely in my top
good,
bag.
Good.
But I looked at this water and I thought, I don't know. It looks like it's probably 2 inches deep over the trail. I could probably make it through, and it was maybe 20 yards long. And I thought, okay, Lego Nick, what are we going to do here? And Lego Nick told me to send it. So I did. When it got to about half wheel high, I was really wondering.
What? So we're talking more than 2 inches, Rose.
Oh, it was more than 2 inches. I did not realize the trail dipped low.
Oh my goodness.
So, but we made it through, Lego Nick and I, and it was quite an adventure. And I shared those with Colleen and on Facebook. And it gives her joy. It gives me joy, and it's just another one of those special connections and experiences. So, that's what keeps us coming back every year.
And it's a connection that you never would have made without RAGBRAI. So that's
absolutely not. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. And shout out to Colleen. And
Colleen.
She picked the right person to take over for Lego Nick, because you love to adventure. So I think
I do.
Lego Nick is going to be going on some great rides.
Yeah, absolutely. Right?
That's awesome.
Magical moments, right?
Yeah. Well, Rose, thank you so much for sharing that story.
Amazing experience of hosts. And I really wanted people to know, I guess, sometimes I'll start working with a host, and they'll feel very tentative about hosting a RAGBRAI team.
Sure.
Because they don't know what to expect, and they're not sure, how this all works. And I think, thankfully our team experience has been, whenever we've had a host who was on the fence or unsure about how things were going to work, they've really become like a friend after that. And they were like, I would love to have a team back, and they have, positive things to say. So I really hope that, as I think COVID and a lot of things changed how hosts, how receptive they are to opening their doors to riders or teams in their homes and yards. But I think that there's a lot that, people don't realize they could be missing out on. And it's a terrific experience. It can be very positive. So even though there's probably maybe one or two negative ones out there that happen, there's, that's the thing. There's always going to be a bad fruit in the bunch, but doesn't mean that the whole bunch is spoiled. So
I love it.
Shout out to the hosts, because they're just as special as the riders, and they make the experience just as magical.
Yeah, and to have a night of just slumber party and good breakfast and air conditioning, that in itself is amazing. But then on the icing on the cake is to, get that communication and make a new friend.
That connection. Yeah. It's
Love
so
it.
Fantastic.
Oh, thank you, Rose.
Yeah, absolutely. Just one of those things that makes this ride so unique, and why we keep coming back to it every year.
Yeah, I'm ready to go back right now, but I guess we have to wait a whole year.
We have to wait. We got to wait, Sis. Yep. It'll be okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Rose.
Thank you.
We will be right back.
At First Form, they're more than just supplements. They're built for performance, driven by purpose, and proud to fuel the RAGBRAI journey.
First Form helps real people earn real long-term results on the bike and beyond.
From clean energy to high-protein snacks that actually fuel you, they're here to keep you moving, recovering, and riding strong.
Come find the First Form team out on the route. Let's crush RAGBRAI together.
Now, back to the show.
All right. Well, next up we have another guest, Ellie. Hello, Ellie.
Hello.
Will you tell us where? Oh, and it sounds like we've got somebody else on the line with us.
Kitty boy in the background. You think someone's here now?
Oh, well, will you tell us where you're from?
Yep. I live in Indianapolis, Indiana, half time, and then the other part's in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Ah, okay. And I already know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Did you make it back to Iowa to do RAGBRAI LII?
No, I've never done RAGBRAI. I'm just a couch potato that lives through everyone else. But next year I'll be there, hopefully.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay. So here you are in Florida or Indiana watching RAGBRAI. There's got to be a reason, because A, why would you be on this podcast? And B, why would you even want to talk about RAGBRAI? So I think listeners will enjoy hearing the story about who you're watching, what you're watching, and we'll go from there.
Of course. Well, I am lucky enough to be Lucky Penny's wife, Danny Davis, the one that rides that big, huge, tall bike with the big, giant wheel on the front that never sleeps and waves to everybody.
And
I'm his biggest fan.
Yeah. So his bike, I'm sure everyone saw him. It's I believe called a penny farthing, and it is super, super tall, big, huge front wheel, one speed, and he has it decorated red, white, and blue. So he's been on RAGBRAI several years, and I know he was on the podcast a couple years ago. I'll put a link to the show notes. But do you ride one of those bikes as well?
No.
One in the family is enough, right?
Well, we have a couple of them. He did get one that is more my size, but girl, just getting on that sucker is crazy. And so, it's just not for me. I'm old. I'm not made like he is.
And he is self-contained. So he has all his stuff on that bike too, if I remember right.
He does. He takes complete care of himself, and luckily there's enough people out there that, I put little hints out there because people ask me all the time, what can I get for Danny? Does he need anything?
Yeah.
And so, I'll say, well, he hasn't had any of this. And this time it was blueberry pie. In the first city, they ran out of pie everywhere because, he rides slow. And so he's last always. And every day from that day on, someone made him an entire blueberry pie.
No way.
And he called me and he said, what am I supposed to do with all these pies? I don't even have room for a piece of paper.
Oh my gosh. And I think that's a good segue into, you were from afar watching this happen. And, when I got to interview Danny, and of course he remembers who I am, we see each other each year, but what are some examples of besides blueberry pie, that you're seeing from afar as far as Iowa Nice and just the communities while on RAGBRAI?
Well, I think that, I mean, it's not only, Iowa and the people on it, it's the whole, camaraderie of the riders together and cheering each other on. And I think the riders get the people that are in the cities involved, and it just, it's amazing. I mean, everyone takes care of each other. And I think that's beautiful. When you see someone falter, someone stops to help them, or, they're having trouble getting up a hill. There's someone to say, come on, you can do it. And, and he gets that all day, every day, because he's different. He sticks out. So I hope I answered that, with what you asked me.
For sure. Yeah. And he's, like I said, this is just a 1-gear bike, and it's huge. So, like, did he give you some input on how it was on those super hot days?
Well, so again, we're from Florida, and he is just, he's badass. He can go in the hottest day. He can go without water. He's just made different. So yes, there were definitely hot days, and yes, he does struggle. He'll never tell anyone that, except for me probably. But on the very first day, so he rides a normal bike when he's training. Okay. And then, the day that comes, right before RAGBRAI, and he has to make adjustments on his big bike. And so really he hadn't trained. Don't tell anyone I told you that. And so first day he goes out and he said, well, I'm already halfway through. However, I left my knee in the first town.
Oh, geez.
So he had knee trouble the whole time, but you'd never know it because he just rode on through every day, and, he didn't really have too much trouble, or at least he didn't show it. And then, he crashed 2 times. And, that didn't help, but, he's, like I said, made different. He just kept on going.
There were, I think, 3 days that were over 70 miles. And when you're tooling along at, I'm guessing he probably goes 8 or 9 miles an hour. I don't know for sure. But that's a long day. And I'm guessing that seat's not padded. Like he's really roughing it.
Yeah, it's not padded. And even if he could wear a pillow under his beehive, he would not do it. He'd say, that's not part of the experience. And he got this brick seat. And so, he watched, I don't know. Johan is another YouTuber. He's passed away, but we started watching him, and that's what really inspired Danny to ride across America and, go these long distance. And he rode a Brooks seat, and he just thought that was so cool how, the Brooks seat molds to your beehive and, all the girl, give me the pads. I'm like, you're so crazy.
Or give me a bike that I can actually put my feet on the ground. When I want.
It's constant or what do you call it? Not self-propelled, but it's, it's only leg driven. If the wheel moves, his legs have to move constantly. There's no free wheel. So it's constant for him. And so, it's wild.
And I think I asked him this, like you just said, if the bike's moving, then his feet are moving. And so I was asking him about, big hills, right? When you go down hills, we all coast, but he doesn't have that option unless he removes his feet from the pedals. Right. So if he does that, and I'm thinking about the last day going into Guttenberg, because those hills were crazy steep, going down. Did he walk it, or did he actually coast down?
So he only walked one hill the entire time. I didn't ask him which hill that was, and because I wouldn't know anyway. Right. But he did tell me he walked one hill, and that's all I can verify.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And when you said he rode his bike across America, was that on the tall bike, that penny farthing?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Wow. He rode the same penny farthing he rode in RAGBRAI, and he incorporated the RAGBRAI ride last year into his ride across America. We have a granddaughter, and she has autism. And, until you have, a child like that in your life, you don't really realize, how different the world is, when you're autistic, or, you see it from the outside. And so we thought it would be a great opportunity to do something amazing and raise awareness for that. And so that's why he rode his bike across America. And then he raised money, as he went along, of course, to pay for his trip. But, first and foremost, it was to buy bicycles for kids. No little kid should be without a bike. And, we need to get our young people out there and, away from social media and screen time and the computer. And so we got to give, I think, over 100 bikes away last year with, just the money raised, from his ride. It was amazing. And so we're doing basketballs this year for local areas and schools, just to get kids outside. Because it's wild to see how many kids are stuck behind a screen.
Right. Yeah, think about your or I'm thinking about my childhood versus kids today. It's 1,000 times different.
It is. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But, hopefully, sometimes you can make a difference. Even if we made a difference in one child's life, it was worth it, you know?
Yeah. So if you're doing basketballs this year, I'm assuming that means that you are still accepting donations if somebody's out there thinking about it?
Oh, absolutely. We have a website. It's luckypennyusa.com, and his Ride Across America, everything about it is on there. We haven't updated it yet for the basketballs. Probably shouldn't even told you that yet. He's going to get me, but that's okay. But, we have to have a plan always to do something, because if that man has to sit around, he gets grumpy, and we don't want to have a grumpy man sitting around.
That is true.
All the little ladies in RAGBRAI online, since I sit and, make posts about him all day, they all tell me, we'll take Danny, we'll adopt him. I'm like, girl, be careful what you wish for.
So then how are you posting from home? Is he sending you photos all day long, or is he kind of giving you dialogue?
No. He calls me every once in a while. The reception there is horrendous.
Yes.
Always. But most of the time, someone will send me a message or, give me an update. And, I post on there all day, and I try to write little stories and put pictures of him and, for everyone to get to know him. The first year I don't spend a lot of time away from him.
Yeah.
And so that was the first time ever in our lives, that I didn't go on vacation with one of our children and, be away from him. I was home, he left. Anyway, it was a little traumatizing. And so for me, probably not for him. So his first day, I jumped online and I was like, hey, if anybody sees the guy on a big tall bike, tell him his wife says hi and I really miss him. And so all day long, people were saying, you must be the guy that, this lady's talking about. And then he called me like 8 times and was like, what did you do? And I said, what do you mean? He's like, everybody keeps telling me that your wife says hi or, whatever. And then, so I thought that was funny. Well, then, we're a real jokey family and we play terrible tricks on each other. So the next day, I did something else and, everyone, jumped in on it, of course, because when you can be funny and say some stupid shit to someone, someone absolutely, digs that and they want to jump in on it, and then he called me, he's like, I am going to kill you. So that's how he, I know that's not how he became popular, but, that's how people, kind of broke the ice to meet him. And then, so every day that he's ever done RAGBRAI, I'm behind the computer, typing something stupid to say to my husband or, if you can do this or do that, and then people like to play along because, why not?
Oh, I love it. So luckypennyusa.com is the website. And then what's the Facebook page if people want to follow along?
So he's not a social media. He is terrible at that. So, I made him get an Instagram because he doesn't have to write anything. He can just post pictures.
Oh, perfect.
So same thing. Yeah. Lucky Penny USA. And then there's a page on Facebook. All of his Instagram stuff goes to that. So if, anyone wants to send him a message, because they send me a million messages and I'm like, well, this is Ellie, not Danny, and so I try to tell everybody, go to Instagram. That's where you can talk to him. He has like this little fan base. I'm like, I know. It's not me. And it's just me.
Yeah. Well, okay. So you, at the beginning of this interview, you said you think you'll be coming to Iowa next year in July. So does that mean Danny will be back on the big bike?
Oh, he definitely will. So I'm all about, girl power, and no offense to the guys, because I'm about guy power. I'm just not a guy, but I believe in all of you. So for the girls, I did start a Facebook group. So maybe we could be like a team, not so team. I don't know what you call it, but just a bunch of girls that can count on each other, because I know there's so many women that want to go and ride, but it's so scary to go somewhere by yourself and not know anyone and then have to sleep outside. So I started a Facebook group. It's RAGBRAI Beauties. But who doesn't want to be called a beauty? And, we'll all wear matching shirts and, know each other and, know that we'll be able to have someone out there to be able to count on, if we need something, or sleep in groups, or ride in groups or whatever. And that's a beautiful thing when you're a girl, because, just having one other girl on your side, it's everything.
It totally is, especially when you're going and doing something you've never done before.
Yeah, absolutely. So I thought, if I started something fun like that, then that would make me be accountable.
Yeah.
So I put one of those little posts up on the RAGBRAI page and said, hey, if you want to join my little thing, we could all have fun together. And I think there's like 112 people I invited so far, and there's still a whole bunch extra to invite. So that's fun. You can't just find the group. You have to be invited, unfortunately, because, then that keeps out people that we don't want in there.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, everyone cross their fingers that they can get in the group if they want to be in the group, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, good. Well, Ellie, thank you so much for talking about Danny and Lucky Penny USA, and we hope to see you next July.
I'm going to be there, dang it.
All right.
If I have to bring my trail of chickens, we're coming.
Actually, that would be pretty fun, especially if you can put little hats on them or something.
Oh my gosh, I know. He was just complaining to me today about how I go to the store down the street, the chicken store, and I come home with stuff I don't need. I'm like, of course we needed it. What do you mean?
Well, thanks, Ellie, for taking the time today.
My pleasure.
Well, listeners, that is it for today. We want to thank you for tuning in to listen to the Just Go Bike podcast. If you would like to contact Murph and AP with a comment about the podcast, or maybe even you have a topic in mind, you can reach us at justgobikepodcast@gmail.com. Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and watch our intros on YouTube. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast, especially if you're a fan. That is going to do it for this week. Until next time,
Just go bike.
Theme song by Ryan Steer, logo by Suzanne Milosevic, produced by Kathy Murphy, social media by Andrea Parrott, intro by Pumpkin. Until next time, just go bike.